It's a sight common in many parts of Europe this time of year. Buckets of grapes just freshly picked. This one's slightly different though. It comes from a vineyard. Well, I'll let the owner tell you whereabouts it's from. This is Chris Spakauskas. And Chris, now where are we here?
Right, this is Yorkshire Heart Vineyard. We're halfway between York and Harrogate. That's a little village called Nunmonkton.
And is this one of the most northerly vineyards in the UK?
One of the most northerly. It's not the most northerly, thank goodness. It's not a stigma we really wanted attached to us being the most northerly. We were very briefly when we first planted for about a fortnight, but we're probably the second most northerly at the moment, which is very nice, very comforting to be.
Now, some people would say this is a silly place to plant grapes. What made you do it? Is it as silly as it sounds, or is there... What are your aspirations for Yorkshire wine?
Yeah, well, I think 10 years ago it would have been pretty damn silly to plant a vineyard here, but technology has moved on quite a lot. The varieties of grapes we can get now, the clones that are being produced, are being marketed and narrowed in to work in the cooler climate. And that's what's really inspired us to push on with this. Global warming not really having a big effect on us, I don't think, and I don't think in our lifetime it ever will. It's not going to come around that quick that we're going to be thinking, oh wow, this is the right thing to do. No, I think technology has helped us enormously in planting a vineyard, and the reason why we planted a vineyard. That's where we are with it. As for Yorkshire, yes, I think there's a demand for Yorkshire produce. We like to think that when the wines are ready, these will be the wines to drink with Yorkshire produce, to drink with the beef that's being reared over there in that field over there, the lamb that's over there, with the cheeses that are made locally. It's like when you go on holiday and you taste these fantastic foods and the wines that go with them, and you bring them home and they don't work. This is where they are. This is where they should be in Yorkshire, for Yorkshire people.
So this is your first commercial vintage, really?
This is our first commercial.
So what are you picking today? It's the 10th of October.
Right, these are Rondo. These are a red grape, obviously, to make red wine. Tomorrow we're going to, when we left these in the tank overnight, just to soften them, press themselves a little bit up on their own, we're going to run some of the juice off to make rosé. Then we're going to leave the grapes uncrushed with a bit of yeast on to set them off fermenting, to start the red wine working. When we're happy with the colour and the tannins and anything else that we can possibly get out of the wine, then we're going to press it, clear it, and let the fermentation finish just as a pure red wine. And the rosé will go on and will be made tomorrow. The yeast will be added, and that will be on its way.
So when will we see that in bottle?
Right, the whites and the rosés should, touch wood, be ready by April next year. The red we don't know about because it will take slightly longer to mature. We're hoping to put some of the red, we're only going to make a little bit of red this year, we're hoping to put some into a small used oak barrel to mature, which will just round it off a little bit. It won't oak it, it won't give it that peppery, spicy taste that you get with a lot of oak. It'll just round off the edges a little bit, because Rondo can be a bit tarty on its own, so we're just hoping we can just soften it off a little bit. And like I say, the reds maybe a month later than the whites, maybe 2 months, time will tell.
And so you're doing Rondo for the reds. Any other red grapes?
Yeah, we've got Dornfelder this year, which we're going to make. I think we're going to make all rosé out of that. It makes a very good rosé. We've never made it before, but there's quite a lot of rosé made out of Dornfelder in England now, and it does make a very acceptable rosé. And we've got some Pinot Noir, which we don't know yet whether to use that as another rosé, press it out quick and make a white wine out of it, or leave it on the skins and go for try and get a red. Don't know yet, we haven't decided, but the Pinot Noir is quite a way off. It won't be ready until the end of this month, so we've got a bit of time to think about that one yet.
Okay. And what about the white varieties? I saw you've got Céval.
We've got Céval Blanc, which we're going to pick sometime in the next 7 days, I would think it'll be ready. That's going to make, this year we're just going to make a white wine out of that, still white wine. A little bit we're hoping to send to make sparkling from. We'll make the base wine ourselves and send it off to be finished, I think. But we're talking a couple of cases of sparkling wine, not a huge amount yet. English sparkling wine, as you know, is big business now. Yeah. It's something we'd like to get into, slow but sure. And as you probably know, Céval is the traditional grape that's been used in England historically to make sparkling wines. I know they're making the champagne blends now, but we planted that with the intention of using it for sparkling wine, so that's where some of it will end up, certainly. Right. And the other whites we've got are Segrave and Ortega, which we picked the other day, and they're now busy fermenting away, and we will just make hopefully a medium off-dry white wine out of them. They're quite succulent, quite pungent flavours in the Seagrape, quite sweet, tarty flavours, not totally dissimilar to a Gewürztraminer. So we're hoping to make a wine along that sort of road, but time will tell. They're young vines. They're not going to produce great character wines.
So this is the plant they were planted in 2005, 2006?
They were planted in 2005, the Seagrape, yeah. So, we'll wait and see what happens with them.
Yeah. Well, best of luck with the vintage, and
Thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll see Yorkshire Heart Vineyard grabbing some medals in the future.
I'd like to think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thanks, Simon.